Okay, book club notes. What should we talk about this week? The happy home chapter. Oh, okay. Wendy moves into the underground house. She starts tidying, organizing, and making meals. The Lost Boys start calling her mother. And Peter comes in with a new adventure idea, but Wendy says, breakfast time. And then Peter says, you're no fun anymore, Wendy. That felt important. Okay, questions for the group. Question 1. What is up with Wendy? Hey everyone! Welcome back to the Book Nook. I was just preparing some notes for book club. I've been jotting down some questions I want to bring up, and there's something that's been on my mind. It's Wendy. She's acting really differently than she did at the beginning of the story. The more I think about it, the more I ponder. Is this another moment we should pause and ponder? Have you ever had a time where someone surprised you or acted in a new, unexpected way? Maybe you have a friend who's usually shy and quiet during group activities, and then one day they're much more outgoing and take the lead. It might catch you off guard and make you think, whoa, they're feeling really confident today. That surprising moment can tell us that something is shifting for them. Maybe they're starting to believe in themselves more. It can be the same in literature. When a character does something unexpected, it's often the author's way of saying, pay attention, this moment matters. These surprising actions might show growth. The character is stepping up or changing. Challenge. They're struggling with something new. Revelation. They're revealing something we didn't know about them. Moments like this can help us understand the character better, move the story forward, and even reveal the theme or big idea of the story. So that's why I'm wondering, what is going on with Wendy? And what do her surprising choices show us about how she's starting to grow or change? Before we dive back into the chapter we read for today, let's remember something Wendy said before she came to Neverland. But the thought of growing up and leaving childhood behind makes me feel afraid. I think about going with Peter instead, even for a little while. The nursery window will always be open for me to come back to, won't it? Yes, Peter, I will come. I don't want to grow up. How did Wendy feel about growing up at the beginning of the story? She was afraid and would rather stay young with Peter, at least for a little longer. Based on this, how might you imagine her spending her time in Neverland? I thought she'd turn as carefree as Peter. But what is she actually doing? Let's take a look. She's no longer in her own little house. She moved into the burrow under the trees along with the boys and is now being called a mother. Then we see her tidying beds, folding leaf blankets, and setting out acorn cups for breakfast. And listen to this moment. Ah, what a long day, Wendy says. This is just what my mother would do. The boys listen to Wendy following her directions the same way kids follow their parents' directions. What do you notice about Wendy now? Pause here to write down what's new and surprising about her actions here. You might have noticed that in this chapter, Wendy is acting pretty grown up, huh? She moves into the underground home with the Lost Boys and her brothers, starts tidying up, getting everyone organized, making sure they eat and rest. She even says, I'm just like my mother. When I first read this, I was like, wait, what? Wendy, who used to say she didn't want to grow up and left her nursery to go to Neverland, is now acting like everyone's mom? That's surprising. What does it show us about how she's changing? She's growing up. And here's something else to think about. Peter returns to the happy home full of excitement. He's ready for a brand new adventure. But Wendy says, breakfast first. And Peter says, she's no fun anymore. Do Peter's actions surprise you? Pause here to write down your thoughts. I don't know about you, but I was not surprised by Peter's actions. I mean, he loves having fun, going on adventures, and just doing whatever he wants, just like a kid is supposed to. And he's been that way since the beginning. Of course he would think it was boring that Wendy wanted to have breakfast instead of their adventure. What does this tell us about his character? Since his actions are not surprising, it means he hasn't changed, right? He's staying the same. Always a kid, always carefree. And at the beginning of the story, Wendy would have jumped up to join the fun. But now she's focused on what the Lost Boys need. So, how does this all tie into the theme of this story? The way Wendy is changing connects to a big idea we've been thinking about: growing up. But growing up can mean a lot of things. What do you notice about what growing up looks like for Wendy? Write down one thing you've noticed about things Wendy is learning or doing that feel different from the beginning. I'm thinking that maybe this story is about how growing up means taking care of others, even when it's not fun or exciting. Or maybe it's about how people grow and change at different times, and not everyone is ready to take the same steps, like Wendy and Peter. You might have come up with another idea, and that's great. The stories we read can leave behind different messages for different readers. As we keep reading, I'll be thinking more about Wendy and whether her choices will keep changing or stay the same. I'm wondering about her brothers. And what about Peter? Will he change too? Let's keep an eye out as we keep reading and keep working on our goals. Bye!